It sounds like you had some unexpected visitors out there.
Those two beasts came out of nowhere. Who were they?
Victor Creed and James Logan Howlett. But I'm sure they'd prefer to go by their current aliases.
Sabretooth and Wolverine. Those two have been at each other's throats for decades.
Wolverine? Then he is a werewolf? Huh. I did not sense that from either of them.
Because they are mutants. Like me.
You are... like them?
I will not be howling at the moon anytime soon, Hunter. It affects us all in different ways.
There are some things you'll need to become familiar with in our post-atomic world, Hunter. Mutants being a big part of that.
A blessing or a curse in the blood, depending on who you ask. I can explain further if you must know.
In the meantime, I need to look into what's happening in New York. Wolverine is an honorable man, if a bit rough around the edges. Sabretooth, on the other hand, is a homicidal maniac. The fact that he's got his sights set on you is definitely not good news.
Wait, you know Logan?
Who do you think first told me about you? You'd be surprised how many people have found their way into these woods over the years, and once they do, they tend to find a way back. I doubt this is the last we have seen of either of them.
Wonderful.
Logan and I are not exactly best friends or anything. He's more my brother Piotr's friend. Like I said earlier, we're all mutants. Not to freak you out or anything.
You say mutant as if it is a bad thing.
In some parts of the world, it is a very bad thing. You've been sleeping in the grave, so you've missed out on the anti-mutant hysteria. The Mutant Registration Act, all that crap.
So it is safe to say that things in the modern world are not easy for your kind.
That's an understatement.
So you and these other mutants, you all know each other from Russia?
Hardly. We're all part of the X-Men. I mean, not currently. But I guess once you're an X-Man, you're always an X-Man.
Just like a midnight sun.
I guess so.
And this Sabretooth, he is a mutant. Does that make him an X-Man as well?
Definitely not an X-Man. He and Wolverine go way back. Who knows what their feud was originally about? I doubt they can remember either.
He has been tracking us for a bit. He was the presence I sensed at the docks.
Are you sure it was him and not something else?
I hope this Wolverine takes care of him, so we do not have to worry about it.
You should be so lucky. Logan and Creed have been chasing one another's tails since before I was born. If Logan ever killed him, I think he'd be so overwhelmed he'd pass out.
Thank you for explaining this to me. It seems I have a lot to learn.
Of course, mutant society is small, but super complicated. But all you need to know is that Sabretooth sucks.
Having Sabretooth wrapped up in all of this is another headache we don't need. I can only hope Logan handles him swiftly, before he causes too much trouble.
How much do you trust this Logan person?
Quite a bit, actually. He's a bit prickly, but he's dependable.
I have too much else to worry about right now. I do not have much patience for difficult personalities. Stark and Strange bickering are as much as I can tolerate.
Well, Logan isn't here, is he? He's out there, in the world, still tracking Sabretooth. If we're lucky, he'll put Sabretooth away for good, and that'll be the last we hear of it.
And if we are not lucky?
Then there will be a lot more dead bodies in our future.
I suppose there is nothing more to do but wait. I have a feeling we will be seeing more of Logan and Sabretooth.
Oh, I'd count on it.
No demons to report here, boss.
I doubt a blood sacrifice is what they had in mind. Ominous indeed.
When many of the elder gods were corrupted and became what we would call demons, the god Atum, born from Agatha herself, these monsters. In that sense, the two of you have had a shared purpose. Fight well, Hunter, and he may just honor you with his blessing.
too weak for this fight. Leave some for the rest of us.
Atum was unleashed and made quick work of the demons, but in the process, he became something of a monster himself.
If this is a cautionary tale, your timing could be saved. Your mother abandons you. The power of the light.
Just imagine how much more difficult this would be if Charlie wasn't there to join us. A treat after this.
Lilith herself could not best me. What makes you think you will fare any better? Your time! Feel my call. I am impressed. I am going to get you for this.
I think Blade is honestly jealous that you're getting this extra training in, and with live targets.
Once again, Lilith's servants fall. This is a serious predicament for you. I saw something like that once, centuries ago.
If that doesn't make an impression on Atum, I don't know what will. Good work, Hunter.
Um. Uh,
Belongs here.
Ultimately advise you to reveal all manner of mysteries hidden from you. These may be forgotten throughout your events. Cannot be detected with the naked
With
eye.
Atum's help, you shouldn't have any trouble uncovering the more elusive elements hidden throughout the grounds. Why don't you try out his blessing on that stone over there?
Autumn reveals all. Autumn be praised.
Mm. Some recipes. Not your death caps. Any haven.
Something terrible happened here.
Hiram Shaw's church. Evil bastard.
This area, it feels wrong somehow. I sense an old suffering.
Members of the local coven were persecuted here. And worse.
Witches?
Salem's history with witches may have been distorted over the years, but some things are true. The witches of Salem did their best to thwart Shaw, but he rallied his congregation against them. The catalyst of the infamous Salem witch trials. When the Coven called out in distress, it was Lilith and Sarah who came to their aid.
They came all the way from Transia, with the Abbey, to help a group they had never met?
You may not believe it, but I'm sure you would have done the same. Isn't that why the Sons are here today? Aside from that, your mother and Sarah both saw the signs of Chthon's influence. They knew there was more happening in Salem than the persecution of witches.
Chthon's corruption had taken root in the New World, just like the colonists themselves.
And while Lilith and Sarah were still preoccupied in Transia, they entrusted one of the moon seals to the Knights of Wondergore, who brought it to the Coven with the hope that its power would reinforce them enough to deal with Shaw.
But that is not what happened.
Unfortunately, no. When the plague came to Salem, the same one that afflicted your father, Shaw used it to further agitate his flock by placing the blame squarely on the Coven.
And the witches?
The mob was vicious, and the rest is history.
But what about the moon seal?
After the trials, the moon seal vanished along with Shaw. Without drawing any conclusions, I think we can both guess where it went.
If this was his church, then it is possible the seal is still here, or somewhere nearby.
You read my mind. Good hunting, dear.
Was this always here? I may have forgotten a few things, but I feel as if I would remember a decrepit church on the grounds.
You may not remember the structure, but maybe you've heard of the man responsible for it? Hiram Shaw? This was his house of worship, and like a great many things on the grounds, Sarah preferred to keep it in a sort of mystic quarantine. Even I haven't been inside.
Is that all she did while I slept? Seal things off for our protection?
She can be overzealous at times, but in this case, she was right to be wary.
So what dark secret does this place hold?
When Hiram Shaw first came to Salem, he was little more than a charlatan posing as a preacher. He managed to convince a few desperate souls to join his congregation, and with their help, he broke ground on this church. Whether it was coincidence or fate, in digging beneath the church, Shaw found something that would change the course of all of our lives. A long-forgotten page of the Darkhold.
If Shaw found a page of the Darkhold, it was because Chthon wanted it that way.
I tend to agree. That cursed book is always seeking out a way to return its master to power.
And a power-hungry preacher makes for the ideal messenger of darkness.
Yes, Shaw was an eager study, consumed almost immediately by the whisperings of Chthon and the Darkhold's power. Nearly overnight, the people of Salem, old and new, were at his threshold, waiting for the word. Never a dull moment.
What do you know about my father?
That's not an easy question, dear. What would you like to know? Was he a good man? Yes, I think he was. Your mother loved him dearly, and he doted over her. I think for a time she forgot who she was, where she came from. And I don't mean that as a bad thing. She and Sarah both deserve to find something more than just another fight with Chthon. Lilith did, Sarah didn't. At least, not for a while longer still. I honestly think that's the only thing she ever had against him, blood or not.
Tell me about Hiram Shaw.
By all accounts, Hiram Shaw was a desperate man. Desperate for power, wealth, influence, the usual desires that cloud men's minds. As I understand it, he was a largely unsuccessful minister before his arrival at Salem, traveling from place to place, swindling whatever followers he managed to gain before being run out of town. To think that a simple man like Shaw finding a piece of the Darkhold was enough to set all of this in motion, it puts things in perspective. Until we speak again.
Something here, isn't there? I mean... Should this door be opening? use the right command, then yeah. Forgot about that. I had honestly forgotten about that. It was me saying this shouldn't this be opening. I was like, oh yeah, hang on a minute. This girl contains more influence than this, she perceived, for it is not merely with power within, but corruption beyond my wildest imaginations. For each mark upon the land, a page could have been traced to its location. Find a person of power who handled fragmentations of the blasphemous tomb. I've come to believe that the dark and destructive events that plague this land are not chronological rhythms fate has set in motion, but the dark holds sway. I was wrong to let my heart linger on the thoughts of Lilith. She and her foul sister are worse than I could have imagined. She has even corrupted a man from my congregation to her guest. These women have more influence than that coven. Even without their roots in this village, my congregation's size falters. I raise my hand to Thon nightly, crying out for guidance. Okay.
Noble Ushtur guides my hand.
Cold depths of winter challenge us all. I'm grateful for Agatha and her control of the elements, especially fire on these dark days. It is hard to believe that even with the threat of Lilith looming, cold and hunger can draw up so much of our energy. Agatha brings me to her altar to train now, and says that by the end of winter I will also be a master of the elements. I look forward to that day, if only leave the snow behind us. Definitely opening that. Epic chests. Okay. I'm sure. Pains me to set these words to page, for my cause is righteous. Any admittance of weakness I find unfathomable. I must tread with the utmost care. The whispering spectres intensify, testing my will every turn. This page, I have come to realize that it is responsible for the corruption of not only the souls of man, but the destruction of entire civilizations throughout history. Today, it is the people of Salem that suffer. Hierophant Professor X channels his power to raise the knowledge necessary to be shared with his pupils. He holds in his hands the key to understanding. The card represents guidance and wisdom from a teacher. Yeah.
This ward is not like anything I have seen on the grounds before.
And yet, it's familiar somehow.
Like the wards of protection that Wanda invoked to protect Dr. Strange's sanctum?
Very perceptive, dear. Maybe you should approach the good doctor and see if he has any insights. And Hunter, be circumspect. Dr. Strange is no fool.
Okay. So we are going to have to talk to Dr. Strange.
Atum shuffled away.
Martha Richards. This references a tree the village called the Life-Taker. Its limbs held so many of the dead it needed to be fitted with iron sports. Martha Richards met her fate there.
He sees our path.
Suspended in an iron cage for several weeks, the unnatural longevity of this suspect revealed true nature. Margaret Adams. More people. Spooky graveyard. Celestial Ring.
The son of Gaia approves. Interesting.
Okay. 17th century cemetery housing many of old demons and inquisitors. Empress Storm channels nature's power in the elements, harnessing a frightful storm with little effort. This card represents pleasure and prosperity. Strong natural influence. Some kind of new boundary. Trees. The trees. Probably helps build a bridge or something. Right.
Cathan's dark influence has tainted this well. Blessings of the goddess.
Agatha's cottage. There's quite a lot to explore, isn't there, on the, once you open it. Caretaker's journal today, I told the child of their mother. I tried to be gentle. Clear. Agatha brought her warmth and comfort to the conversation, and I think she is the reason the child shed no tears. 6 years old, it was time. You have defended the Abbey against Lilith and her Lilin, but soon enough she will grow stronger. We keep the secrets that we must, but the child must know what hides in the shadows of the world.
Agatha's house.
Handbook of the Wilds. The Aztec revered the mushroom as the flesh of the gods, frequently serving them with honey, chocolate. Other species, such as the death cap, were quite poisonous when ingested. Scotch bonnet were known to grow naturally in ring-like formations, sometimes referred to as fairy circles. These were often thought to improve fertility and bring good fortune to relationships. With a note, although I didn't know Lilith all that well, I should have imagined that the hunter would be an energetic child given their lineage, while Sarah acts as the ever-vigilant stickler for order and reason. I've become something of a silent partner in crime for the hunter's hijinks around the Abbey. Of course, I would never interfere with their training or education, but someone has to encourage things like exploration and creativity. It would be nice if the hunter had someone her own age to spend time with. I'm not sure a couple of old witches make for the best companions to a child. Sometimes I have to remind Sarah there's more at stake here than just training a powerful demon hunter. She means well, of course, and I know she loves the hunter as her own. Still, they're going to drive each other crazy at this rate. Maybe some kind of pet would help. That's the way I do it with a pet. Liz returned to the Abbey several nights ago, clutching at the babe. It was as if the illness had never touched her, and when I looked into her eyes, my sister was gone. Who or what remained, I did not recognize. She pleaded with me, on her hands and knees no less. I could sense the magic of the Darkhold all over her. She's been cast out. Abbey is sealed, and I will find myself the caretaker of a child. Oh. Okay. I've been charting the celestial movements the past many months. Once their alignments have been properly calculated, I will gain a better understanding of the coming resurrection. As I get closer to narrowing the timelines, I have begun to pick up disturbances within the grounds of the Abbey. Current events have intensified as of late, and a low rumble could be felt emanating from Lilith's tomb. Damn you, Lilith! Agatha. Heimdall has aided me in the transfer of Loki's confiscated cauldron. We delivered to the location that you marked in your letter, the same letter that found its way to Asgard, directly into Odin's hand. The request caused a great deal of excitement, prompting Odin to appoint me to the newly formed position of Asgardian warrior. Clark, to arrange the transfer. Warrior Clark. It sounds very exciting as a job, doesn't it? I cannot think of a better way to utilize my abilities than to act as your delivery girl. This is not the Lilith that I know. This is not my sister. I witnessed her seal away that horrid preacher in a damp cave with an unbreakable ward. We could have healed the darkness of his heart, or provided him a merciful death at the very least. Leave him to fester and slowly slip away into a painful death. I have never witnessed such cruelty from her. Now it seems she is nowhere to be found. Traced her to her gardens, perhaps to repent for what she had done, but it's as if she's vanished. This is one cagey beast indeed. Dr. Druid was not kidding when he stated difficulties tied to the imp-like creature bound to this cauldron. appears that the energies bound within the forge only serve to further agitate the creature within the cauldron. June 10th, 1998, my initial experiment proved to be ineffective. Protective ward I had created to shield the Abbey instead released a noxious black cloud which hung over the grounds for days. June 30th, 88, I moved the cauldron this afternoon just outside the Abbey and attempted to purify the springs that ran off from the waterfall and into the yard. Instead, I managed to release a geyser of flames that shot a good 50 yards into the air. Most unfortunate event, the flame blast incinerated many of my favourite willow trees. I got the glyphs again. I'm gonna open that because, you know, cool stuff. God, so much reading. Odin, I suspect, is quite entertained at this point, knowing the history of Loki's cauldron and the destruction and turmoil that awaits you. I hope that this relic lives up to your expectations. Should the need arise for another transfer, I hope to be caught up in various life and death struggles which require my attention. Agatha, I know you to enjoy a good challenge. You shall have it with this wretched thing. Caretaker's journal. A witch appeared in the Abbey today. I cannot say from where she came, nor what it is she wants, but Agatha is a truly fascinating and gifted woman of great magical ability. She brought a basket of warm food with her, and despite myself, I couldn't turn her away. Even if I had wanted to, she told me that she had sensed a child of magic, and her heart drew her here. I think that I believe her, though I know I have no reason to. Uatu, the Watcher, is always lingering just beyond the walls, observing and learning. This card represents accomplishment and becoming whole, along with reaching the final of the chapter. Okay, so some stuff here. Oh, that's anything here? Behind? No. Okay. Why can I not interact with that? I feel like I should be able to interact with that. I suspect I can't interact with somebody that looks like he should be interactable with immediately. Suspicious. Advanced occult transmutation. There we go. Reveal.
Autumn be praised.
Okay, Mickey. Okay, so we'll search Agatha's cottage. It feels almost as if Sarah and Agatha are running short of challenges to throw in my direction. Have I truly changed so much that my power could no longer be satiated by these two spellcasters? No longer do I fear the darkness within me or the light. I have conquered them both and embraced the many facets of my being, darkness and light, blood and human. Mystical Bridge. Everyone loves a mystical bridge.
Autumn shows the way.
Okay.
She believes in our purpose.
Yeah, the legendary.
If it was here, Atum would show me. The goddess must be busy. I need to find the next moon seal.
Right, where's the moon seal? Very suspicious. What's going on right now? Yeah, I've made a terrible mistake. My powers are growing stronger and I'm losing control. But that isn't the worst of it. I went to the reflecting pool today to try and search for guidance, but he heard me, and I felt a strange connection to him. I broke away as fast as I could. It was like his powers channeled through me. The ground grew cold and blackened beneath my feet. I thought that I could use what I've channeled from Hippus to push it back. I am so tired.
Autumn reveals all.
Why'd you always look in the corners? That's why. Things, cool things.
Autumn thinks otherwise. Must not be her purview.
Pay my respects to the, masked, hooded, cloaked person. There's only one more to do that to.
If I remember correctly, this is the grave of Will Walker, a notoriously vicious but effective vampire hunter. Blade would have liked him.
T'Challa stands guard before the different regions he battled for the title of Black Panther. This card represents a mission of leadership and a protection over one's home. Encyclopedia de Coctio. Coctio, just saying. Cock. Oh dear. Okay, that's something there, isn't it? We're going down there. That's something there. Yeah, I think we are now heading back, looks like. Yeah. I can't not have enough reagents at this point. Well, certainly of all the new things. Cat, where else the cats? Definitely just have the cats.
Do not transform on me now. He sees our... That did not work.
So that is things in the walls, isn't it? So there's one at Agatha's cottage. There's one in the library. I think there's one in the library.
The son of God approves. Autumn be praised.
Just getting these on there at the moment. Hundreds of keys. I'm going to probably.
There must not be anything here. Autumn shaded away.
A lot of keys.
Autumn must not see it that way. He sees our path. This is which sign?
Need to finish exploring these grounds.
Autumn reveals all. The son of God approves.
Another key. Give me a key, give me a sign. Well, there was something there, but it wasn't. There's one more. Find answers. I'm gonna save these keys because I don't know how many I'm gonna get. I'm hoping saving them will be a boon in the future. Whispering wood. Let's close it off. Let's close it off. And this is a dead end. Can't see any sparkly things on the ground. In the trees. I thought I saw.
Autumn be praised.
Isolated Grove in New Haven. Bucky is restrained by Hydra, but waits patiently for the right moment to break free from the prison in his world and his mind. Guard represent letting go of that which cannot be controlled and adaptation. Nice, got a blessed blade. I don't know what that does, but I'll have to read it. But not now. Now. I'm searching. Searching the treasures.
The son of Gaia approves.
offerings. Okay. Nothing there. Nothing here. Nothing up here. Yeah, I do like the way this sort of like base area is expanding, giving you more. That's cool.
Hi, Hunter.
Alright.
You have not set anything on fire today, have you?
There's little baubles as well appearing like random different places. That
Ah,
helps
Hunter,
you
I was
search out, doesn't it?
admiring the collection. Someone spent a great deal of time piecing this library together. I hope you don't mind me having a look around.
Of course not, Doctor. The library is an asset to us all.
I see I'm not the only one who's taken an interest in these works. You haven't been getting into anything precarious, I hope.
I have found something on the Abbey grounds that I think you should see.
Oh, sounds mysterious. By all means, lead the way. I typically avoid venturing this far from the Abbey, especially at night. It makes Tony nervous, you see. There's an unsettling air about this place.
This church belonged to a preacher named Hiram Shaw. His influence turned Salem against its coven.
A charismatic personality and a fearful populace can do much evil. You were right to bring this to my attention, Hunter.
I thought it resembled one of your wards of protection.
There's a reason for that. It's the same magic Wanda invoked in her attempts to protect the sanctum. But what is it that you're chasing out here? These wards aren't something to toy with.
I will not know for sure until I get past this. Is there any way to dispel it?
Unfortunately, no. What good would the wards of protection be if they were so easily broken? But I have been wrong before, at least recently. Do you have any suspicions as to who may have conjured this here?
Caretaker has shown no hesitation to sealing off the grounds at her discretion.
True. Caretaker could find the resources to create a ward if she put her mind to it.
The only way I will know for sure is to find a way through to the other side.
I'll think on it and see if I can come up with some way to assist you, Hunter. For now, though, you'll have to be patient.
I do not think there is a single spell you are unfamiliar with.
You honor me with your compliment. You go on, Hunter. I'd like to study this area a bit more.
What's happening, Hunter?
I wish I could drive a vehicle like you do.
Thanks. I'm doing the best I can.
Your flying is incredible.
If you think I'm cool.
An attack wave, okay.
I am not above celebrating the end of some real bad people.
Tony Stark used to be the ultra-rich jerk I saw on TV. Now, he's the ultra-rich jerk who eats all the cashews in the bowl.
Right.
During that last mission, was I the only one who thought, yep, this is how I die?